Hey everybody, welcome back, and welcome to the Lego Chiron build in all its resplendent glory. Here it is. You can see it with its brethren up here and other fine Ultimate Collector Series Legos. But hey, if you haven't subscribed, please do in the bottom. That would be really helpful to me. But without further ado, here is the speed build of the Lego Chiron. So I've got the first bag finished. I'm on bag 2 of the Chiron, but if you've ever wanted to know, this is a simplified version of how a limited slip differential works. So if you ever wondered how one wheel can move, but the other one won't. So if we want to move both wheels, we can move the little gear like so, and both wheels turn. But let's say we're going around a turn, and one wheel has to go further than the other. This one doesn't go very far if we're making a left-hand turn. So this one has to move faster than this guy. So how does it work? I'll give you a close-up. Here you go. See if you notice, the one on the right's not moving, the one on the left is. But those planetary gears, see how they're not moving at all? Isn't that cool? Simplified version of how this works in a real car, but pretty neat. Anyway, on to bag 2. Alright, so we're at the end of the engine here. We have the W style 16 motor. There's basically two V8s kind of slammed together here in the middle, but check it out. Let's see if I can get you a good shot of all the cylinders working. They all work. Isn't that neat? This is the coolest thing. But I think the most fun thing here is underneath. Okay, check it out. You see all 16 cylinders going to town in there. Isn't that neat? It's so cool. They're all run by these 3 gears right here that are meshed together. So you get that. They all kind of work together here in that pattern. So anyway, that is really cool. I think I'm going to stop for the night, but onward. Okay, so I'm done with the front differential, and it looks like we've got a prop shaft here, and then we've got our front diff as well. Works just as same as the back one. So we've got the gearbox underneath it, the engine's up here, and then what the instruction manual is calling the marriage. And it looks like they want us to marry the actual process about how they build the Veyron itself, which I think is pretty neat. They kind of want us to follow the process that they did so that we can have a similar experience. And see if I can find it here quick in the manual, which you know is pretty neat in the grand scheme of things. So okay, so getting there. There we go. So they call it the marriage process, and they want to say true to the assembly process, which I think is kind of neat. So it looks like we've got a selector here. This might be for 2-wheel, 4-wheel, although this part here looks fairly unique. I'm not sure I've seen this type of gear before. If you have, let me know in the comments, but interesting. So anyway, I'm going to keep going on to bag 5. Like we've got back part of the seat area for the driver and the mechanism for the shifter here. Got a couple of rubber bands, and you can kind of see those work too. It's kind of neat. And then also we have the the shaft for the steering wheel, which has the rack and pinion, which you can see work here. Very cool. And then also, this little cog that was in the middle is the shifter, forward and reverse, and it should be just like the 911, where this actually does work, so pretty neat. Anyway, still got to marry these two up together, but on to bag 6. So you might have noticed that I skipped a few steps in there, and I realized that my camera was not recording for some reason. The battery died or something to that effect, but I missed it. And I realized that maybe at this point this would be a good opportunity to not rob you of the experience of building this yourself. So you can do the difficult piece of marrying the two pieces together without me and have that experience with it. But I'm at this point now where I've got a fair amount of it done. You can see the interior, and I've got the steering wheel, which works. We've also got ourselves a sequential shifter that works both left and right. And then also we've got our high and low gear. I found out what this is. It's high and low gear, and this is high gear. This is a neutral, and that is low gear. And it does work with all 4 wheels. The 4-wheel drive system does work. So I'm going to finish it up, and then I'm going to pull out some of my other bigger Lego sets and kind of give you a compare and contrast system. So I've realized the video's getting a little tad long at this point, so let's start wrapping things up. And here we are, we're finally done. Now I wanted to show you kind of in comparison what it looks like to the WEC car, also the Formula 1 car, and compared to the 911 GT3 that we have over here. GT3 has very similar working type suspension where everything works. Steering wheel works, get yourself a little luggage that goes with it. Isn't that adorable? The only problem that I have with the GT3 is that you can't really get, even from the back here, you can't really see much of the motor, even though it does work, and it is an opposing actual Boxster engine. It does have also a working sequential shifter, as you can see the mechanic working there. It's got forward, reverse, and neutral. the Bugatti has a high and low gear, not a forward and reverse, but a high and low gear. Also has, let's see if you can get a good glimpse of it here, but an actual shifter with the rubber bands are actually on the inside as opposed to the GT3, which are right here on the actual column itself. So doors come out just like so. Just like the real Bugatti, you can't get at the engine, you can only look at it, and that's as best you can do. So if you need to change oil in your Lego Chiron, you're kind of SOL on that one. So steering wheel works in this one as well, and it does also have suspension that is correct to its heritage. So we've got 2 shocks up front, we've got the little key here, and also our little piece of luggage. Isn't that adorable? So if you were wondering what the key does, if allow me to do this, what you do is you go in back here. Let me take a rotate back, see if I can get some good light on it. And in the very back is a little hole. You stick it in, and ta-da! Now, if you want to brake, boop, and it goes back down. So, oh no, I broke it. Okay. Good thing is Lego goes back together. So, anyway, Lego Chiron is complete. Pretty interesting model, but as you can see, the complexity of these starts to increase. The F1 car has the little clamshell that goes up and down, also has the DRS system that you can use with a little turn knob here. The WEC car has steering up top. That's all you get. Plus the motor works, and you get these little flappy deals, the doors that open. But that's kind of the gist of what you get as far as that one. Doors work on this one. These are more, I would say, models, as opposed to these are just kind of, replicas of sorts. But these are much more complex, actual working gearboxes. These just have working engines. These have actual working gearboxes, both of them together, and are very kind of similar in their construction. Use a lot of these piping things to draw in the very complex lines of the vehicle. So anyway, I hope you have a good time with it. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down at the bottom. So thanks a lot. Have a good one.